Hey, so I wanted to tell a story about when I broke my arm. Um, I don't know if y'all can see the scar right here on my elbow, but that's from the rods that were taken in and out of my arm. But so I was 12. It was the summer before 8th grade, before I turned 13. I just got done staying the night at my friend's house. That same girl I told y'all about that I smoked weed with the first time. Um, One weekend I stayed with her. This was in the summertime. And then I think it was Friday I stayed with her, and then Saturday I came home. I used to go roller skating every weekend. So uh I on Saturday I ended up going skating that night, and I don't know, it was like 30 minutes into the skate session. Uh I remember the song that was playing when I fell and broke my arm. I think it was Tonight, tonight, they'll party on the rooftop, top of the world tonight. Yeah, that was the song I was playing. And this kid darted out in front of me, and I fell on my arm, and I just felt this giant shock. And the pain was so hard that it was numbing. It was, I was numb. So yeah, I was just in shock. I stood up and I had to hold my arm. I could see, like, the bone didn't come out of the skin, but it was almost out of the skin. It was like my arm turned into an L. Like, it was like literally like it broke this way. And yeah, it was my forearm broke in half. So I was just holding my arm. And I remember, like, the first thing I skated up to this old couple. I was like, "What's wrong with my arm? What's wrong? What's wrong?" And they were like, "You broke your arm." It was so weird because, yeah, when I had that premonition, the first time I got high on weed, and I had that premonition that I was gonna break my arm. So that vision happened before I broke my arm, which is weird. But yeah, and then as soon as I got off the skate floor, that's when the pain hit me, and the couple were like, "You broke your arm, sweetie, you broke your arm." So I held my arm, I walked over to and the pain hit me, and I'm like, "Oh my god." I could just feel it again, like twitching and thinking about it. And then they were like, "Okay, we'll call an ambulance." That's when I started crying. They came and shot me up with some pain medicine immediately. They put me on the stretcher. It was such a bad break. I was gonna have to be in the hospital for a long time. I'd have a cast up to here. Um, yeah, they rolled me out on the stretcher. I was, it was like 3 or 4 days in the hospital. And I remember when they set my arm, and like first I had to just be there on pain and in pain on pain meds for a while. Then they finally set my arm, and then I went into surgery. And I had a full arm cast for about 6 months. Uh, that was the summer before 8th grade. I went into 8th grade with the cast. Yep. And for about 6 months I had that cast. And then around Christmas time, or no, 3 months I had that cast. Then they changed it to a short cast. 3 more months of that, and then I had arm surgery where they put the rods in my arm. And no, they had the rods taken out. They had them taken out of my arm. after the bone healed, because the rods were put in the first surgery when I went to house. But anyways, when I first got out of the hospital with the big cast on, that's how I ended up getting on Loratabs, and I was on Loratabs for about 6 months. And what was it? Yeah, it's just like a mild painkiller. Kind of made me loopy. I didn't like them too much, like, but yeah, I didn't even like. It took me like 6 months to take the whole bottle. I only needed them for the first couple weeks. Was I taking them heavily, and then I would just take one once in a while. But I didn't really get into them because they made me sleepy. But yeah, be careful skating.